Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be ranking the movies from Phase 4 and Phase 5 of the MCU. Now, I have not included some because I haven't done a rewatch of them yet, and I also haven't seen all of them. Like, I still haven't seen Eternals and movies like that. So, I am ranking 8 movies, alright? So, just to keep that in perspective for you guys. Now, number 8, I have Ant-Man the Wasp: Quantumania. When I first saw it in the theatre, I liked it. I thought that it was a good setup to Kang, but rewatching it, it does get a little slow, but also it's just a complete waste of, not necessarily of Kang, but more like, since we've kind of not doing that storyline anymore, it just kind of gone to waste. Like, it's a fun movie if you're just sitting down and being entertained by the movie, that's one thing, but if you actually think that this is a integral part of the MCU, which I bet will be, like maybe in Avengers Doomsday, Doctor Doom kills Kang or something, and he kills all the Kangs from the end of the post-credit scene or something. But I don't think that this is going to be one of those movies that ever gets paid off. And I honestly think that this is going to be one of those movies that it's like we look back at it and we go like, this is such that when we watch Phase 4 and Phase 5 again, especially when it comes to this movie, we're going to look at it going like, this had so much potential. But since the whole thing with Jonathan Majors happened, it just totally switched, and I think that we're going to look at it going like, what a pointless movie. But it is a fun movie. Like, it does have some fun things about it, but I just think in the grand scheme of Phase 4 and Phase 5, it's kind of pointless now. Number 7 is The Marvels. Now, The Marvels, I actually really like The Marvels. I think that there's a lot of fun. We finally get to see our Avengers kind of team up, where we're basically paying off characters from WandaVision, Miss Marvel, and Captain Marvel 1. And I honestly think that this is a really good movie. And I think that, obviously, the standout is Mavlani as Miss Marvel. But I do think that Brie Larson does a great job of playing Carol Danvers in this one because of what she was given in the first one. Even though that I like the first one, I don't think that she could play it to her potential. This one is the potential Captain Marvel Carol Danvers that we want to see out of Brie Larson, and I think that she's doing a great job with what the material that she's given, and I honestly think that obviously paying off WandaVision with the daughter of Captain Marvel's friend from the first movie, Monica Rambeau, I think that is great. I do love that post-credit scene. I do think that post-credit scene will get paid off with Beast from X-Men. Whether if it's a X-Men movie or it's probably will be Doomsday or Secret Wars where they bring that in, because we have to free Monica Rambeau. So I think that scene will get paid off. But I do like the humor in this movie. I think that this is one of those movies that gets way too much hate because it's like, oh, it's all female driven and we all we hate women and blah blah blah, and it's just like, look, be quiet. Like, some of these movies can be for women as well. It's the same thing goes with She-Hulk. It's like that show in these movies can also be for women as well. Like, come on. Number 6, we have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, I really dig this movie. I think that this movie really is a movie that does a good job of capturing the Sam Raimi-isms with the horror aspects while also dealing with the multiverse saga. And even though that we deal with the multiverse in snippets, I think that it is very important to the multiverse saga in general. Along with this movie and 2 other movies that I have a bit more higher on the list. But I think that Multiverse of Madness gets way overhead with being a Sam Raimi movie. And also, I do think that this movie has a lot more pressure on its shoulders when it comes to the Multiverse Saga in general. I think that there's a way to make this movie there's a way that this movie sets up the Multiverse Saga, because they never really address Kang and all that stuff. And I think that, honestly, this movie is one of those movies that I'm going to find enjoying, because I'm not a big fan of the first Doctor Strange. So seeing the whole ties from like WandaVision and that whole thing, and the fact that this place takes place after No Way Home, seeing America Chavez, which I really like, America Chavez, I think that she needs to come back. Apparently they are going to do a Young Avengers, which I'm very excited to see. I'm curious to see how they pulled that off. Which apparently it is going to be a Disney Plus series, which kind of makes sense, because most of the children that we've seen have debuted on Disney Plus, like Kate Bishop and Miss Marvel and all that. So, and the fact that these two movies are both two movies that I talked about here, both the Marvels and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, are going to deal with the Young Avengers, and they're setting it up, and I hope that comes out before Doomsday or Secret Wars. I'm very excited about that. Now, number 5, we have our new installment, Captain America Brave New World. I really, really do like Captain America Brave New World. I think that this movie brought us back to the Winter Soldier feel, and our feel of our Phase 1 to Phase 3. Like, this movie feels like a movie that should have came out during the Multiverse Saga. The Infinity Saga, sorry. We're in the Multiverse Saga. But no, like, this movie feels like a movie that should have came out during the Infinity Saga. And it feels like that. And, like, the fact that they are paying off things from the Infinity Saga, but also paying off things that we haven't heard about in a while, like, obviously, getting our return of General Ross, like, played by a different actor, this time played by Harrison Ford, and obviously getting the leader back is awesome. I love that. And obviously setting up our new leader for the Avengers with our new Captain America with Sam Wilson. And I think that this movie is better than the show. I like Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think that there's some strong things in it. But I'm not, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. It is on the lower end of my MCU shows, but I do think that there's some very strong moments. I think that this is better than the show, and it has more strong moments than the show. And I do think that the action is really, really good. I think that the whole opening fight with Sam is really, really good. I think that the whole battle of them in front of the Celestial is also really, really good. Obviously, the final battle is amazing, and seeing Sam Wilson go up against Red Hulk is really, really cool. And I love how this movie felt different than normal Captain America movie, because it's not just the hand-to-hand combat, which I love, but you actually get the aerial combat, because you're dealing with Sam Wilson flying, and he has a new sidekick, which is from the TV series of Falcon and Winter Soldier. So I love how we're finally seeing the payoff to that series with Captain America Brave New World. Now, number 4 for me is Thor Love and Thunder. I really, really do like Thor Love and Thunder. I think that this is a underrated comic book movie, if I've ever seen one. I think that this movie, when I think of this movie, yeah, I do think of the jokes and that type of stuff, and like, I laugh at the jokes more than other people do, but I also think the other reason why it's this high, and also why it's in a higher regard, the MCU, for me than other people, is because that even though I do think of the comedy in this movie, I also think of the emotion in this movie, like the emotional stuff, like the whole thing with Jane, and how the scene between Thor and Jane, and the whole drama there like that scene on the boat where they're talking to each other about Jane's cancer. The humour does not break that scene for me because they hardly use humour in that scene. And also, I think that the whole fight with on Gore's planet is incredible. I love that fight. I think that's such a cool, interesting fight scene. I'm not a big black and white person. I don't like watching movies in black and white. But the way that they do it in this movie, there's a reason for it being in black and white, and the look of it, and I love the look of it. I also really like the costumes in this movie. I really like the costume design. Like, I love Thor's gold outfit. I really like seeing female Thor on the screen, which is something that I never thought that we would have seen. Because we didn't see it in the Infinity Saga. I thought that they wouldn't even touch that concept within this movie, right? So I think that there are a lot of things in Thor Love and Thunder that get overshadowed because everyone's just like, oh my god, the jokes are terrible and it's unfunny and stuff like that, which, like, even though I like the jokes, I think of more the emotional aspect of this movie and the fact that the montage with Thor and Jane of their relationship when they meet up again, that montage improved on their relationship from the previous first two Thor movies. And I think that Taika Waititi had sauce in that movie. Like, he really added a flair to Thor that he added in Ragnarok. Like, he had a hint of it in Ragnarok and was like, let's go full-blown Taika Waititi, let's go full me in this movie. And you can tell that this is a full Taika Waititi movie, and I love that. Come from someone who likes all Love and Thunder and really likes Hunt of the Wilder People, I really like the fact that he was just like, let's just go Taika Waititi. Let's go, let's turn it up to 11. Let's do it. So that's why I have Thor Love and Thunder at number 4. At number 3, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Honestly, I thought that this was my favourite movie of the year when it came out. Because, gotta remember too, we got both... I think that was the year that we got Quantumania, Guardians 3, and The Marvels. Right? I think that's right. But yeah, and this was easily my favourite movie of the year, and I honestly think that this was such a great conclusion to James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, and the fact that the only thing that I didn't really like about the movie is the relationship between Peter and Gamora, because it seems like that we've backtracked to the first movie, where we have the whole thing of like where they're just meet each other and they hardly know each other. Except Peter knows Gamora, but Gamora doesn't know Peter. So that's the only thing I didn't really like. And that goes to two of the best movies in the MCU, Infinity War and Endgame. If they didn't kill Gamora off, we would have had that relationship explored more and finally them getting together and all of that. But that actually kind of fumbled the ball because of Thanos killing Gamora off and stuff. But I still really like Guardians 2, and I think that the send-off to the Guardians really, really helps, and I think that we are going to see the Guardians in the future. I don't think it will be a team that got sent off with that movie, but I will think that we will see the scene that we saw in the mid-credit scene with Groot, Rocket, Kraglin, Adam Warlock, and that other chick. I do think that they will return, and I do think that they will be in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, and I do think that this movie is easily one of the most saddest, funniest, and emotional Guardians of the Galaxy and MCU movies in general. I think that this is the best Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and I do think that there is a lot that they do with this movie that I liked the High Evolutionary, but didn't really love him as well. I do like the High Evolutionary because, like, you've kind of went with a crappy villain in Ronan in the first one, you went to an awesome villain with Ego, then you went to kind of feels like that they went up and down with the villains in these movies, where it's like Rome was kind of crappy, Ego was awesome, and then it was kind of in the meh section with High Evolutionary. But I really do like this movie. I think that the action is great. The hallway fight scene in that movie is incredible, and getting to see the choreography and the camera moving around all the characters is really, really cool, and I love that about it. I think that is awesome. Now, number 2 for me is Deadpool and Wolverine. Love this movie. I do think that the people that don't like this movie are the people that go like, oh, it's messy. There's a difference between like, oh yeah, it's messy, but like, did you have fun watching it? That's the thing. And I think that this is such a fun movie. We finally get to see the Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios use the X-Men in their movies, with finally getting Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine in the classic yellow costume, getting to see Channing Tatum as Gambit, and I love how he finally goes a chance to play Gambit. I will not be surprised if he is a character that they will bring in and use after the Multiverse Saga, because why would you let that guy go to waste? He said that he wants to do the movie. Because he clearly wants to, and you can tell that he wants to. And seeing, obviously, X-23 and, obviously, Snipes, Blade, Chris Evans as the Human Torch, and Jennifer Garner as Elektra, I think that this movie has an amazing soundtrack. I think that this movie has one of the best soundtracks, in my opinion, but also has some of the best action. With Crew, the opening scene, I think the opening scene is incredible. I love the way that they use the music and also the choreography, and also like watching the behind the scenes on how they do it, where they have that whole thing of the camera spinning around when he's slicing up all the guys in the beginning is incredible. And I really do like how they finally, even though that my one complaint is that they didn't necessarily bring Deadpool and Wolverine into the MCU like they said, because they announced that they will bring Deadpool and Wolverine into the MCU, which really they're just now back in the Fox universe. But I do think that there'll be a payoff in Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars where they're finally in the MCU now, and I cannot wait to see what that payoff is. And I really want, like, I've heard that apparently we're going to be getting a trilogy of Deadpool and Wolverine movies, so, and also Hugh Jackman wants to keep playing this character until he's 90, so use him. Like, at this point, you brought him back. Why would you recast when you've just brought him back for Deadpool and Wolverine? Get another 2 Deadpool and Wolverine movies. Get an entire new Wolverine trilogy. Get him like a Tom Holland contract where he gets to appear in other movies, whether if it's Avengers movies or X-Men movies, or whether if he gets Spider-Man vs. Wolverine movie or Hulk vs. Wolverine. And getting to see all the different variants within that movie was awesome too. Like, getting to see the actual Old Man Logan as opposed to the Old Man Logan that we got in the movie Logan, and getting to see the Wolverine on the cross, and getting to see Patch, getting to see the Apocalypse weapon, Apocalypse Wolverine with the stub, and getting to see the Calvary was awesome, and seeing the Short King, great. I love how they used the multiverse cameo type stuff within this movie, and I think that this is the type of way that they want Multiverse of Madness to be, but they dialed up more, but in a way that works within the movie without popping into different dimensions. They did it in a way where it was in the void the whole time, and now they got to play with that void, and I love that. Now, number 1, of course, we get to Spider-Man No Way Home. You guys know this is my favourite movie of all time, favourite MCU movie, and that is clearly because that you got to unite all of the Spider-Man fans with Toby, Tom, and Andrew and make them into one movie, and obviously got to have a Sinister 5, not Sinister 6, but a Sinister 5 with Goblin, Sandman, Ock, Electro, Lizard. I thought that was amazing, and the way they used them was really good too, because like, this is one thing that I've said if you go watch my video of why I think No Way Home is better than the Spider-Verse movies, I explained this, but I do think that there's no other way to introduce a Sinister 6 except for the way that they did in No Way Home, because you now have a whole, like, 8 movie saga with the Tobey movies, with the Andrew movies, with the Tom movies now, or even 10 if you throw Infinity War and Civil War in there. But I really do love the fact how they use those characters, much like Deadpool and Wolverine, how they are integral to the plot to get somewhere. It's the same thing with No Way Home. No Way Home is clearly one of my favourite theatre experiences. Seeing the Ock versus Spider-Man fight in the theatre was amazing, and explained to a friend of mine that didn't watch any of the Spider-Man movies or the Avengers movies before. Seeing No Way Home, explain that to him, gave me a bit of a unique feeling. Got me to geek out for a moment. And also having the crowd go nuts when Andrew and Tobey show up. That was incredible. And I love the way that they use their music in this with more of the emotional scenes, and the callbacks was great. And I like the changes that they made from when they were going like, no, this is going to be the movie after Multiverse of Madness. I think that was a good idea, making it before Multiverse of Madness. So then that way you have more of a better story, which it did kind of make probably Multiverse of Madness worse, but it did make this movie better. And being a big Spider-Man fan, it gave us the ultimate Spider-Man movie that everyone wanted to see. And I will not be surprised if the fact that Spider-Man 4 is coming out between Doomsday and Secret Wars. I am so excited to see how Spider-Man 4 turns out. Whether if we get Tobey and Andrew back in that movie, or we just get a street level Spider-Man, which I don't want them to make a multiverse movie just for the sake of making a multiverse movie. If it's integral to your storytelling between Doomsday and Secret Wars, yes, make it a multiverse movie. Bring Tobey and Andrew back, but do not make a multiverse movie just for the sake of being a multiverse movie, when clearly everyone just wants a street level movie, even if you have Spider-Man and Daredevil going up against Kingpin or something. So, yeah, so guys, that is all my ranking of the Phase 4 and 5 movies. I have missed a few because, again, I either haven't seen them like Eternals, or I haven't rewatched them in a while, like Shang-Chi and Black Widow. But I am planning on doing a full MCU rewatch with reviews and rankings and all that stuff related to the MCU. So guys, please hit the like button down below if you haven't already. Subscribe also to the little bell icon to get notified of future videos I make. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon.